So since the start of July, we've already had quite a few trades, both between the 5-minute and the 30-minute charts. We've had some winners as well as some losers, so I thought this would just be a good week to go through on the YouTube. It's definitely been an interesting week, so let's just get straight into it, starting off here with USD JPY 5-minute. We had this really clean setup, could have taken it for a much higher risk to reward than we did. This went all the way up here, but due to the TP rules, we were just targeting a 1 to 3 on this. Pretty simple, plus 3%, can't complain at all. If you don't know about the TP rules, I have a thing in my Discord, which basically say what risk to reward you should target based on how big your stop loss is. So for a stop loss of 3.4 pips or 3.5 pips, we would target a 1 to 3 with the option to move stop loss to break even at 1 to 2. But yeah, I did send this out to the Discord. It was a little bit after the bullish close, but I did say exactly where I was entering at 8:14, which was just before the close of this candle. And the reason for that is because I was waiting for the bottom wick of this candle to get created, and it just kind of kept going and going until it retested the zone. And then we finally saw some kind of rejection, so I just entered just as it was about to close based on the rejection. Didn't matter if you did get in here, you still would have hit your 1 to 3 with ease. Obviously, like I said, it went way higher than we needed it to. But yeah, this is a really nice trade. Demand zone, very clean. Obviously, we shot off quite a bit here with maybe even, this isn't a news candle, this is just a large candle. So people definitely would have missed out on getting in here. Investors, institutions, banks, they'd want their better price down here. We then created our level of liquidity, took that out before reacting, and we had a nice break of structure. Beautiful setup, even bullish on the 5-minute time frame during this area. So very nice trade. Nothing to complain about here. Everybody took this because there was no reason not to. So yeah, that was a great one. This was just Monday, so very recently. All the other trades I'm about to show were from last week, so right at the start of the month. One of which was UJ right here. Well, two of which, because there was actually 2 trades here. We first took this supply because we had a great level of liquidity, great break of structure down here, even breaking lows like these to the left. You can see we cleanly broke past that with a body. Although looking back now, that could have just been a kind of liquidity sweep to then go in the upside, but we didn't know that at the time. So we took a quick sell here. Looks like it was just a bit of a fake out to go to this top zone, which also had a good level of liquidity as well as a good fake out. If you don't know, with our levels of liquidity, they often form supply or demand zones, and when price gives a fake out from them, it proves that people are getting in there. They'll have their stop losses above that area, which obviously creates a lot of liquidity. So then when we take that out, we get even more momentum for our normal zones. So this was the correct zone. However, something did go on with this one as well. We took it down for 2 candles, which ended up being a 1 to 2, and then closed early because NFP was in about an hour, and I don't like leaving it till, 5 minutes before, and I definitely was not holding through NFP. I say that as if it was a bad thing. This would have won anyway if you did hold for NFP. It went for a 1 to 5 nicely right here, probably with a TP2 down here or for a 1 to 10, but you could have hit a pretty good risk to reward here. Even going for a 1 to 6. But yeah, I did close for NFP just before. NFP was on a Wednesday that week for some reason. If you don't know, also, NFP is usually the first Friday of every month. So this is a bit out of the blue. I kind of forgot about it for a moment, to be honest. But we did react, obviously, with good time. And yeah, we made 2% there, covering the loss of this one, plus an extra 1%. Overall, from the trades I've shown so far, we'd be 4% in profit, which is great. That's my overall target for a whole month. So moving on to GC, this one happened around the same time because we had NFP right here, as you can see. And this one we ended up closing at break even. As you can see in the Discord, I did send all these before they happened. Just some proof here, just showing you exactly what I was saying in the Discord. And yeah, it was quite lucky because this one absolutely did shoot down. So the other one would have won if I held through. This one would have lost, but you would have got slipped for way more than you would have been risking. But yeah, I'm going to go through this one quickly because we did close at break even, so there's not too much to say. But overall, we were very bullish, kind of reached around this area down here and reacted quite strongly, so shows that we could definitely continue bullish around here. Had a great level of liquidity to take out, good breaks of structure, not really reacting from anywhere that could be against us, and we got a fine reaction from the zone. So it was an alright trade to take, just, NFP obviously did its thing and absolutely killed GC. So yeah, that was that. But before those, we had this beautiful EU trade. This is also on the 30-minute charts. 3%, very quick, very easy. We did have a max stop loss on this. In the Discord, you can see in the more info part, 15 pips is the valid liquidity distance and max pip distance for our stop losses. Obviously, you don't always have to go by this rule, but for a stop loss that looks as large as this, I did want to do so. And this allowed us to get to the 1 to 3 pretty much perfectly. The only reason I aimed for just the 1 to 3 was because we're just so high up on EU right now. It didn't look like it was able to go for much higher, which it wasn't, and we've since started going bearish. Once again, of course, this is sent to the Discord. I don't want you guys to think I'm just making up that I took these trades. This is just a pretty good week overall. And yeah, this is a really nice trade overall. Good level of liquidity right here. Well, it wasn't a great level. It was technically one candle, which generally we're not too big of a fan of. One candle liquidity usually doesn't form a proper low. Sometimes it might create a fake out zone like I just explained earlier. So if price gets a good reaction from that, then we know that people's stop losses are below it and we know there's liquidity there. But in this case, we formed a proper low right here to take out, which we did, and then got a really nice rejection. Obviously good breaks of structure. There's good breaks of structure everywhere in EU at the moment to the upside, so that was not a problem. And like I said, low risk to reward. Our minimum RR is 1 to 3 on the 30-minute charts, so that's what we took this for since we are already so high up in the market. Great trade. Think everybody took this. Really no reason not to. Following, I will show you a 5-minute NAS trade. This trade, I'm surprised that it lost. I rarely say that because, I mean, you can't really be surprised at trades losing. It's just a part of the game. But this one is especially A+. This is a very A+ setup for any time frame really. You can see how hard we pushed off, so this is such a strong demand zone, such a strong level of liquidity forming a really good low, such a clean break of structure, great price action coming down to the zone with a great reaction from it. And yeah, it just kind of came up a little bit and slowly moved down. Once again, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised that it lost because, I mean, we're not going to win every setup. But out of all the trades to lose during this week, this wouldn't have been one of the ones that I would have predicted. But of course, we did just move on with our week and continued and got some great other trades. This meant nothing overall. But yeah, amazing trade right here. It just kind of didn't go our way, which happens. That's definitely a part of the game. You just gotta accept it. We even did reject the zone a second time over here and got another rejection, but I guess there were just a lot of sellers in the market just randomly. Not really much we could have done about this. This is a setup I would always take, just in complete honesty. I have no reason to lie, especially when we're in trend, we're just everything is lining up. But yeah, gotta expect these losers, man. Part of the game. But I believe the final trade that we took that week was UK 100 on the 30-minute charts right here. Once again, you can see great level of liquidity, great demand area, great breaks of structure over here. Overall, very bullish. We're breaking structure all the time here, and we are failing to break lows. This is a good sign that we're going bullish. On top of that, if we go back here, we reached right at the bottom of this area. If we are going to go bullish, then it will likely be without breaking this low. It will likely be reacting off this. Other than that, the next low you can see that's very obvious is this one. So we reacted perfectly off that, showing that we're going to continue bullish, which we have. Our analysis was perfectly right with that, and we did get a really good reaction from the zone. In fact, it almost hit TP, but yeah, I did not take any profit on this trade. I did close at break even just because of how close we got. It's not really a written rule, but it's one that we can take into account. We obviously do have that with the 5-minute. There are options to move stop loss to break even when you've hit a certain RR, and sometimes I just use that on the 30-minute because it does work well. But we did retest the zone, as you can see down here, and then went absolutely crazy, which is really unfortunate because my original TP on this trade was actually a full TP at 1 to 10, with this being a TP1, or it might have been a little bit lower than 1 to 10, it might have been somewhere down here. But yeah, did have a high risk to reward. It's just unfortunate that for some reason stop does out before going up. This doesn't happen often. This is quite a rare occurrence, but we finally broken out of this weird movement, and yeah, we couldn't take our TP. I know a lot of people actually did. Some people took it at 1 to 3. Can't say I know exactly why. We didn't have too much reason to only take a 1 to 3 here, but worked out great for them, so shout out to them. And overall, a lot of people have passed challenges this week. It's looking really good for literally everybody. There is a ridiculous amount of pass challenges and payouts going on here, so yeah, that's what a good week with liquidity, supply and demand will do. It's an insane strategy, to be fair. And yeah, to start the month, we've already had a great buffer. We've seen some really good profit, and hopefully can use this momentum and continue it throughout July. And yeah, I hope everyone else's trading has been going just as good. I hope everybody's passing challenges, risking properly, really following their plans. And yeah, just let me know if you enjoyed this video, subscribe and all the rest of it. And I'll see you next video. Peace.